Good evening, all. It is OSWA time again. Yes, it is. So I felt it was about time that I had to chip in and do my bit about the OSWAs. Why not? So you know, I asked the yes, 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 yes. I do. I feel as if I've been asked again to be a contributor. I was asked again to be a contributor on the OSWAs, so I think it's only right that I do my bit. But the question was what to talk about because it would have, I think, damn near everybody has had something to say about the Ospreys already. So what I'll do is I'll do my usual. I'll say good evening to you. It's good to see you. Thank you all for being in. I will pour myself a little something, then I will jump into the chat. I'm actually not going to, regarding pouring stuff, I'm just going to do what I always do and not break from that trend and actually just step into Tim's little box, this little box. And but of other weird samples, so I'll do one of them first. Actually, I've got 7 bottles in front of me. I'm sure there are a few of you out there who have heard of Whiskey Bar and Stevie in the UK, an independent baller, as I said. And he's picking, it seems to be he's getting his hands on some incredible casks. And he reached out to me and asked me, would I like to try something? And I just went straight back and said the usual, look, Stevie, I appreciate it. I very much do, but I don't like taking, let's say, freebies, shall we? I said, I understand totally, which I thought very gentle, very understanding of him. It says, understand. Could I send you some samples? I would like you to try some of my stuff. Yeah, of course. Send me samples. People are sending me samples anyway. So, what difference? So he sent me 7 bottles that look like this. Now that's pretty impressive. These are 7 bottles from 7 single casks that he has put out. So I have them sitting, and I'm not looking at this, but they look like this on the back. All I can see is the back of them. So I'm just going to randomly pick one of them. There's ones here of a darker color. There's ones very, very light. I'm going to pick one that's very light in color, simply because then maybe there's a better chance that it might not be heated, and then I can start with it. And then I'll get that poured. These are great little bottles, beautiful shape. And then, and there's plenty of them too. That's literally, I'm still not looking, I don't want to see the label. So I've pretty much only poured half of that and I've given myself a good dram. So I'll start with that one, get that poured. Ooh, baby. Right, let's get into the chat. Donner Pass Whiskey was in, he was saying that he's at work, but he'll check this out later. Tim, very much appreciate it. Whiskey Works, Graham in early doors. Hello, Graham. How are you, buddy? Whiskey with Molly Ben. How are you, my friend? Pete Head, Frank, good to see you over there in the Netherlands. Jimmy Jazz, stateside. Jim, good to see you, buddy. Cheesemeister 66, that's Stephen, isn't it? I believe. Drew from Arizona. Drew, good to see you. Also, stateside. North Coast Drama, North Side. Tony, how are you, buddy? Let's see. Greg's Whiskey Guide, French side. Good to see you too. I'm going to start the side bit and I'm stuck in it. Greg, good to see you. And Craig Blair from Belfast, good to see you, Craig. Jason Bradford, hello, Jason. Multi Mission Menno, good to see you. And my friend Jeff Whiskey, Neil Laverty, Lee J. Brown, Benny Freeze is in, Daniel Vermass is in, the Whiskey Friend, Alan is in. How are you, buddy? So I think I've got everybody for now. I think that's everybody. So anybody else, good to see you all. Thank you all for popping in. Anybody else comes in, I will, as usual, try to say hello. Man, this is a big note. I don't know what this is that I'm nosing. Anybody that's watching in, what I've done is, anybody that's just tuning in, this is technically still a blind sample for me. So what I'll do is actually I'll get the second one poured in the Jim's box. Let's pick one out as random, as I always do. Look, say, don't know what it is. You know what? I was going to go into some stuff from Richard and you tonight. I'll leave it tonight and go back and let's pick out two blinds from Jim's box. Get that out of the way because it's sort of in my eye line and annoying me. So this was the second one I picked out. I'll get it poured. Greg's asking me what's in my glass. Greg, I'm not quite sure. It's something from the whiskey barn. So I'm still blinding here. Um, I will tell you in a moment what it smells like. I think I'll be doing well to guess what it is. It's single cask. I know that for a fact. This was my third, as you can see, blind. I mean, there's no reason why I really need to do these blinds. It's just about fun, isn't it? Just about fun. Um, so I'm going to get a drink of water, actually. Little horse. Little horse. Oh, you will certainly know what it is at some point, Greg. I will get to that in a moment. It is an incredibly thick, sweet, unctuous, young nose, I would say. Whiskey straight Alza. How are you, big fella? It is young smelling. It is high strength. I know it's high strength. It's atypical of what I consider young smelling, and that there's a lot of that still that fruitiness, those fruity congeners, and there's this a caramelly sweetness of it. Oh, that's good. This is going to require water. Oh, we probably should have warmed up to that. Woo. Mm. So yes, it's good to see you all. Hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all doing well. Uh, Craig Sampson. I'm not actually. I haven't had the cold, Craig. I was all right until I started, and now I'm starting to go a bit croaky. But Colin Fine and Rare, the doc is in. Good evening, doc. I look forward to meeting you next month, my friend. This will soon clear this out, Craig, because this is strong. And Richard Agnew is in. Oh, this is happy Thanksgiving, happy Canadian Thanksgiving to you, Richard. I actually had some Canadians in the shop today. I wish I'd have known that. Hmm. Chewy, rich, Highland or Speyside. I'm going to suggest young, chewy, rich, Highland Speyside single cask. I'm not going to faff about with this one because there's too much going on in that. To say there's too much going on in it. It's young, so I'm actually going to add some water now. I'm adding quite a bit of water there because I want that to settle a while, and then yeah, that is young. I would say that is young, whatever it is. Right. So the OSWAs. Now, what can be said really about this that hasn't already been said? In fairness, what I'm going to do first of all is drop a link to the public vote. That's I've just dropped in there the link. That is to the public vote. Anybody, I'm sure most of you have already voted. I'm sure if you're, in any way invested in them, I'm sure you've taken a look and seen what's going on. I'm not going to look through every category. I feel like as if, and there's been two, apart from what Roy and Ralphie have done, there was two that I watched which I thought were incredibly good. The whiskey friend Alan did a video based on the six best Scotches category, or the best Scotch category, and there was the six that were in it. That was a great video that Alan did, and Sheila Whiskey Central did a great blind the other night, um, based around the Oscars. So there's and everybody's been having their be it blogs or vlogs or whatever way they're putting it out, looking at the Oscars, and I sort of struggled to think, well, where am I going to go? What can I say about them that would be any different? Caramel. That's getting a lot of caramel about it. Ryan McCleave's in. Ryan, how are you, my friend? Good to see you. Right. So what I thought we'd look at is I'm just going to open up a few of the categories, five of them in particular. Tell you what I think, and prices I'm going to look at. There's some I've noticed that some of the nominees, as good as they are so ridiculously priced that I wonder who's voting. I wonder who's nominating them. So yes, this is young and chewy. Mm. Better with water, sweeter, going dry, going powdery. I'm not going to mess about on that one long. I'm going to let you know what it is because I want to know what it is. It is. You see that? What's that? Distillery Highland. Ah, so it is just a Highland. Is that just Highland? Highland. Somebody tell me what the right. It's a hogshead. It's 4 year old. No, it's not. It's 12-year old. Grief. I would have said that was much younger than that. That is literally what I'm seeing. Anyone Highland SM, I take it that is. Comes from a hogshead bottle at 55%, which I would have said it was higher than that. I'll have to look into it. It's because I know that um, Papa Q's how's it going, buddy? Jerry, I know that Stevie, the whiskey baron, has these on his website, so it is probably as Greg says, it's undisclosed. Cool Runnings in. Hello. So yes, getting back to the OSWAs. So that's bottle. That's my first sample. Anybody was wondering what was I was sipping on there. Um, it's an undisclosed Highland from the whiskey barn. Very nice, dry, tannic actually at the end, but still very nice. So the first category I'm going to look at here is best value. Best value. It just seemed like well, I mean, we're talking values, we're talking value of whiskey. It was the first category that stepped out for me. And there's whiskies in it that I like. In fairness, I like most of them. Um, I'm sure most of you know by now my feelings about RN10. And even to be honest with you, doing a half and 12-year-old, I come and go a little with. It's sometimes I enjoy it, sometimes I don't. But it's prices here that I'm looking at. And the thing is that there isn't one bottle here. And the reason that you see me looking down there, because I actually have the price list in front of me. I'm 10-year-old, 30. Now, these prices are based on what they were putting out at I basically went with the same prices as the Oswas have put together. Some of them, I know I've seen them a lot cheaper. Some of them are more expensive where I see them. So, it's, I'm going with their prices. But there isn't one of these over the price of £50. Now, in fairness, looking at all of them, I'm gonna do my best here to not give away what I voted for. So looking at all of them, you know, there's one that actually stands out for me for price and quality. And I'm not, I can honestly tell you, I'm not giving away what I voted for. But I'm just telling you that a fact that I think a great fact. Glencairn 10, £36. That is an absolute quality whiskey for £36, in my opinion. Absolute quality. And I would like to think that most of you would agree. I I'm just looking because the thing is, I'm looking across some of the, and I mean, even that RM10 at £38, but Glencairn 10 £36. I will be interested to see. I think it'll be interesting to see that. I know they're capping these prices, or they're supposed to be capping these prices for now. But they're that Glencairn. I can't see that Glencairn staying down there forever. It's always been a well priced single malt, in my opinion. But I just can't see those prices staying down there. Kilkerran 12 at £50 is the most expensive in that category. But the thing is, Kilkerran, as we all know, is just getting so hard to get hold of when it comes out. Now, the 12-year-old, yes, maybe, yes, you can get a hold of it, maybe slightly easier. Another one that stands out for me there, Lechic 10-year-old, yet again, £42. I know it's only 10 years old, but it's just an absolute quality single malt for that price, in my opinion. So it'll be interesting to see once again, with prices creeping up and up for everything, it will be interesting to see how well these prices stay down, and if they stay down. I'm trying to watch the chat here because I did see something. Anyway, I was reading something that the doc had said, McCallum Fine and Rare. So let's move on to a different category, shall we? Maybe whizzing through this a little quick, but you know, now I'm gonna. It's been a while since I've done sharing screens and stuff on here. It generally has. I feel like as if I've lost a bit of what I was doing on this. So it's let's see. Let's find another category, shall we? Because I'm looking down. Let's go best world whiskey. This was an interesting category, I thought, this time. And you can probably see why I thought it was an interesting sort of thing. Because, well, for a start, there's three Irish whiskies in there. So three Irish whiskies, I was well pleased with. I was so pleased to see that. Yet again, it was this was the category that I looked at and just couldn't believe the price swing it. I'll do this category and then I'll move on to the second blind whiskey. Mm, 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 mm. I'm going to have to look further into that, Highland, see what that is. Yeah, Cotswolds. Great to see it. Great to see an English distillery in there. I was watching Country File, Country File last night because I'm a gentleman, and uh, and they were actually doing a little bit. Anybody not the UK, I don't know how widespread Country File is, but it's a sort of farming sort of thing. But they were doing a look. Let's see. They were taking a look at English Whiskey Company, the English Whiskey Company. I thought it was a very good thing. I thought it was well done. Gav's drams in from in. How you doing, Gav? Yes, they were looking at the English Whiskey Company, and I have a bottle of the triple distilled from the English Whiskey Company, and went and said to Mrs Novice, "Would you like a glass to try it?" Saying as that's what they're chatting about, and she said yes. and we were having our triple distilled English whiskey, and I was waxing lyrical about how good English whiskey is, as a lot of us do now. And they, it was good to me. Then it was very good to see the Cotswolds in here. I believe actually that they were in this same category. I think they certainly made it in one of the categories last year. So it was great to see them in again this year. Also, as I said, great to see three Irish in there. Now, I'm not going to tell you once again what I voted for, but if you know me at all, and you can't guess what I voted for in this, then you only think you know me, because it's pretty glaringly obvious to me. Anyway, I rave about this specific whiskey quite a bit. But look, Dingle, brilliant to see Dingle in there. Dingle did it right. They uh, they waited their time. They waited till the whiskey was ready, and they waited the 3 years. It was ready. They put out 6 batches of single malt. They put out 6 batches of pot still. Every one of them that I tasted, brilliant. This is their standalone single malt. Now I'm hoping that they do a standalone single single pot still as well. They are finished their runs of batches now, so I imagine that we the next thing we will see from Dingle will be a an aged whiskey, some with an age statement on it. So I've looked at a couple of them. Cavalan solos. I know there's different ones. This one I don't have it actually written down here. I've had samples of Cavalan solos before. Never owned the ball. Old Forester. I've had the samples of that Prohibition edition. Very, very good stuff. Lars John's Lane saying more, Redbreast 15 saying more, although Redbreast 15, jury's always been a little out on. Whiskey Lover Society is in Kurt. Good to see you, my friend. So let's look at prices yet again. Prices that I'm focusing on for these, because this was the category in particular that I was looking at and thinking, who's nominating this stuff? Cotswolds, £39. Brilliant. You'll buy, and the thing is, in most cases here in the UK, you'll buy it off the shelf. Dingle, £52. Now it's one I actually know where I can buy it cheaper. I work there. Ryan Sutherland's in. How are you, Ryan? Um, Still a good price for what's a great single malt, I think. I'll skip Powers John's Lane, £59. Once again, I know we can get it cheaper. Redbreast, 15 £76. Redbreasts are already going up in price. Um, I don't know whether in a lot of cases it's justified or not. I really don't. But who am I to say? I just think that the prices of a lot of redbreast whiskies, they really are riding on a wave of popularity. Michael Henry's in. Michael, namaste. Uh, how's the family? Um, so it's just, yeah, redbreast. That's that's I think I suppose why people keep spending the money on them, they will keep putting their prices up. That's probably the way it works. I wanted to skip back then. Cavalan, £200 plus. It may, so that means that enough people have nominated it for it to be in here. I just find that incredible. An awful lot of people, then quite a few people must have spent the money, that £200 plus. Obviously, that is here in the UK. It's going to be different prices elsewhere, but I just think that's shocking. Even the Old Forester, that's the 1920 Prohibition edition, Prohibition, whatever they call it, £80 plus. Whew, that went down the wrong way. Apologies for that. It's weirdly not croaking anymore, although I may lose my voice altogether in a moment. Yeah, that old Foster. I just £80 plus. Bourbon, well, some of them, yes, some of them, no. We'll get on to that in a moment. Oh, apologies. Whew. But yeah, that's all good. I just still find it strange that that Catalan's in there. I didn't get a chance. I'm going to scroll back through the chat here to see if there's anybody else has mentioned it. I'm not seeing anything. Sorry, that really went down the wrong way. Oh, I love it. Um, I'll recover in a moment. There we go. Yes, chat. I'm watching the chat and I'm seeing, and I think most people have guessed where I would head, like, but as I said, I don't want to say too much. So, look, while I recover from that, I'm going to move on to my second whiskey, and it's this, and it's blinded, as you can see, or I've been blinded from it. It's quite gentle, I would say, off the front. A nice golden color. It is a nice golden color. Sweet, gentle. There's sherry in there, definitely. Whether it's full maturation or finish, I'm not too sure. Ben, thank you. I literally just dawned on me. I was more interested in trying to breathe again. Yeah, definitely there's sherry in that. There's been a bit. I would say it more of a finish rather than full maturation. Oh, that's a good palate. It's incredibly clean for the sherry on it, and it's yeah, very good indeed. What would I say it is? I don't like to rush through these things, but you know how it is. Sometimes it's easier. So I think sometimes it's easier just to jump in there and not overthink these things. Lee J's, yeah, it's a nice color. It is. It really is. Lee J, it's a lovely golden color. Anybody looking closely at that bit of paper? That's the answers to next week's quiz. Not really. Mm. Sherry, clean, but it would remind me almost. I would say right straight away Highland Highland or Speyside. Phil Ingham is in. How are you doing, Phil? Either Highland or Speyside. Clean, a little astringent at the end. Mm. Nice, very nice. Gonna add a little water. That was a little too much. Frantically tries to dry it up before I end up frying the computer. It's been one of those nights, folks. One of those nights. Fair enough. That'll do no more. Uh, yes, I'm dripping everywhere now. Oh man, what a night. Apologies, apologies, apologies. There we go. That'll do. So, uh, almost drowned it, but not quite. Mhm. Yeah, very good. Very good indeed. Um, Highland or Speyside. Sorry, I'm just making a terrible mess of the plate. Oh, it's been a long day. 46 to 50%. Natural, I'm going to say. I would appear that I would say that's natural. Uh, it's not as. Hmm, I don't think weirdly. I don't think it's an Aberlour or anything like that. I'm saying Speyside. It's not as sherried or sharp as Glendronach. I would have said either. Is it maybe something from Glenallachie? Mm. As I've said before, and I stick by it, no idea, completely blind. That's what I see. You see what I see. I don't know who it's from. I don't know where it's from. I don't know what it is. So I went there with, what did I say? 46 to 50% natural. Highlander Speyside, I'm going to say Highland. No, no, it's Speyside. And I said Glenallachie maybe. I think I might stick with that. Something like that. Oh, well, it was a Glen. It's from Roy, actually. It's the Glenturret 12-year-old, the 2020 release. And that is, I remember people saying they were totally different. The 2020 and the 2021. I think it must be the 2021 that I have the 2021. I reviewed the 2021. Yeah, this is the maiden release. Though. And I would suggest totally different. The two of them are totally different. They what's that bottled at? 46%. Yeah, I got that. It's I remember thinking that the 20, it must be the 2020 release that I have, was more lent itself more to an older thing like the Edinburgh 10, especially the independent release, signatory release. Doc says he knows where I get that bottle from, so that would suggest that it's probably yourself, Doc. Mm, mm, very, very good. Very good. And I think actually, yes, Michael saying 2021 was a little softer, and I would agree, softer and said an older, there's more of a tonnage feel, I think, with the 2024, the 2021 release. I can understand why everyone raved about that at the time. What I'm actually going to do is pour the rest of it, and it can sit there then and relax. And once I sit down and relax later and start breathing normally again, I'll drink the rest. I mean, you've no idea. I'm not gonna start moving cameras around now. As you can see, I'm sort of glowing. You've no idea. Let's get that off. The puddle that I've made desk in front of me. Thankfully, I haven't made a puddle on the seat yet. Get that. So I've another blind poured there. I'm puffing through this, and I really am. I generally do, but this is worse than I think it's because I've been out of the game for a while, perhaps. Perhaps. So let's go on. I really was and am trying to get something the OSWAs out there, folks. But as I said, part of the issue was that because everybody else had already done something, it just this is a bit perhaps a little secondhand. So let's take a look at something else, shall we? Another one of them. So I'm trying to let's see, what have I got written down here? Which one did I go for? Go for this. Yes. The best non-malt, and there was some controversy, a little, ever so small, about this. First of all, Elijah Craig, barrel proof. And pricing yet again really comes into this because there's a huge swing in it. We have the Four Roses single barrel, Lachlan's grain needed, Redbreast 12 cast strength, Wild Turkey 101, and Wild Turkey Rare Breed. There is, and Richard's right, said there's a lot of bourbon in that category. It's actually for non-malt, and I think this was where last year they tried to take what happened was they're trying to take the confusion out of what happened last year. I think last year was best grain whiskey or something like that, and which included then your bourbons. But then everybody was fumbling around trying to figure out what constituted a grain whiskey, and this is where the controversy actually lies a bit in this. I noticed that somebody um, it was said about the Loch as much as it says it's a single grain, the only reason it says it's a single grain is because it ran through column stills. Michael, I know will back me up here. I hope, because it is malt. It's malted barley. It's technically a malt whiskey, but you can't call it malt whiskey because it's been put through column stills. It then becomes a grain whiskey. And the thing is, it is rather confusing actually because whenever it comes to reviewing these things, I know it has to be called a single grain. This is according to the Scotch Whisky Association. It's nothing to do with what they're doing in Nottingham. It's nothing to do with what they're putting out. They're being told because you use the column still, it has to be called single grain. I'm right, aren't I, Michael? Please tell me I'm right. As far as I know, that's the way this works. Yes, it may be using malted barley, but it still has to be called a grain whiskey. I'm going to skip the Elijah Craig barrel proof for a second and move on to the Four Roses. I'm just giving you my opinions here. And yet again, I'm not going to tell you what I voted for. Um, I'm just going to say that the Four Roses, I, they are Michael's Pie. It says, yeah, continuous distilled rather than batch, and then column stock. So there you are. It has to be called grain whiskey. Um, Four Roses single barrel. Personally, still prefer the small batch. Four Roses small batch, I think, is an absolute classic bourbon. I love. Don't get me wrong. Still have a bottle of the single barrel here. £45, brilliant price. Absolutely cracking price. Honestly, don't think it's full that price. But then there's others in here that are good. Like Wild Turkey 101, £33 is actually the price that they had against it. Most of us know the £33, especially here in the UK, or probably even more so in the States, is is actually pushing that sometimes because it drops quite a bit below that. £33 for Wild Turkey 101 is an absolute outstanding price. I know there are a lot of people in here that don't, or aren't into their bourbons or whatever. I still like a bourbon from time to time, and Wild Turkey 101 is one of those that just never, ever fails for me. Wild Turkey Rareby, good, still good. £55, yes, still good. Actually, the long branch I like. And I think it's cheaper, so it's also in there at a good price. This is the thing, all of these categories could have turned out to be best value whiskey because it's some of them, I just think, for the price that they're charging and the price that are being suggested here are brilliant. And this was the one I did talk about the controversy and like that Loch Lomond single grain, £27. They're giving it away. They're practically giving it away. I just think it's for what it is. I couldn't believe it whenever like the two of them come out at first and the non-Peter. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say too much about them here, but not because Michael's in the chat, but simply because at some point I'll review them. Non-Peter, eh, Peter, brilliant for what it is. Brilliant. The doc says I like the empty casks that the bourbon is delivered. The bourbon is delivered, and I agree. It's amazing the amount of people. It's incredible the amount of people that I have, and this is something that I didn't really want to. It's a subject that I find very difficult now. It's something I have discovered through working at a whiskey shop is that the amount of people that know whiskey. Oh yeah, I know. I'll not do any accents because they are from everywhere. Oh yeah, I know whiskey, and I want something that tastes so good. I deflate straight away because it's like, look, and I've said it already to people. Well, they're all going to taste sort of oaky because most of them are an oak. Uh, it's very hard. Now, granted, Irish whiskey, yes, it could be something else. I'll give them that. But and the other thing is that it's the it's the bourbon that they don't get the bourbon cask thing as much as as much as a lot of people sort of suggest yet again that they know whiskey, and then you tell them that, well, look, most of them are in bourbon casks, and they are matured in bourbon casks, and they can't believe it. And it's just I just find it strange, and it's one of those things that it's the journey, isn't it? You learn as you go. You learn as you go. There are many other complaints and gripes that I have. I'll not go too far into it. The reason why I held off on that Elijah Craig there, it's still 120 looking at roughly from that ball proof. Now, in fairness, yeah, probably an incredible. Well, it is. I've had it. It is an incredible bourbon, but is it that incredible? Justify £120? I know there's probably quite a few people in here that would say no. They would say no. Peanut says just the name non-malt yes indicates it means there is no malt involved, and there is. I know that's the thing. That is the thing about this. That was causing confusion and annoyance. I think I would say from a few people. Mm, 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 mm. Yes, yes, that Glenturret is incredible. But I'm about 45 minutes in. I'll try to keep it. So I'll move on to the last round. Meister 66. It is. That's Stephen, isn't it? Sometimes I forget which handle ties up to the person I know. And how does the LLP that compares the Loch Lomond compared to the Inchmore? Compared to the Inchmore? I haven't tried the two of them side by side. That's actually a good question. That's something I must try. I'd say the Inchmore's an awful lot richer. um, just off the top of my head, but that's just literally off the top of my head. And Frank, I know, I apologize, mate, because I'm looking back on that and going, yeah, I know you were answering a question to Benny, and I should have, I should have read that first. Uh, Elijah Craig's barrel proof around £60 in the States. I don't doubt it, Alan. I do not doubt it, my friend. So that's my thoughts on that. Some that it's too expensive here for me, the Elijah Craig. The Four Roses, personally still prefer the small price. Loch brilliant price for what it is. A hell of a great uh, step up for anybody on their journey who's early in their journey and they're looking for something. Now the thing is, then you have to tell them this is a single malt. They're going to go, but it says single. So you're going to confuse the hell out of them there. But talk them down. Red Breast 12-year-old cask strength. I don't even think they're £79. I reviewed it recently, and I will just refer back to that. Wild Turkey 101, yeah, never lets me down. Wild Turkey Rare Breed, never seen it on offer. Only if I've seen it on offer. That's that one done. There's another. How many? What have I done? Did that one? Did that? Well, no, I haven't done that one. Right, there's two more. So I'm gonna. Ooh, that's bizarre news. As you can see, like the game. What's bizarre? Is it bizarre? Mint and menthol. Hmm. I know which one I want to call up next year, so I'm going to try and find it because there's some of them. That's the one. That's the one. Best blended malt. Yeah, there's an awful lot of method. Anybody that knows Vicks Sinex or Vicks Vapor Rub, I'm not saying that this is no more like Vicks Vapor Rub than peated whiskey is like PCP, put it like that. But one's first thought of smell or memory of smell is Vicks Sinex or Vicks Vapor Rub, actually, more particularly. Who says if the Johnny Walker Green wins this again, I'm giving up on humanity. The thing about it is, I still weirdly this category has really stepped up this year. The quality of the whiskey in it has stepped up this year. I think there's an understanding more so of what now Gav's Dram's saying green label, so he's fancying it. I just think personally the quality that's good, the quality of what's involved and what has been nominated has really stepped up. But then there's an awful lot of what has been out there has stepped up. So there's a couple of very, very good examples in there. This is good, whatever it is too. I'm going to let that sell a little bit more and on this. Campbelltown Lock, right? Campbelltown Lock, brilliant. Anybody that's got the opportunity to try it, I know it's still they're still fighting hard to get it out there to everyone. £40. I think I paid more than that for it, but it probably wasn't a whole lot more. It was certainly under 50 that I paid. But just for what you're getting now, let's face it, uh, Springbank Kilkerran, Springbank Glengyle, Glen Scotia, and everybody didn't flip flop. They didn't all start and run away and look toward Glen Scotia because they couldn't get Springbank or Glengyle products. But I know personally, I did, and a lot of people did start to feel around more in Glen Scotia, and eke out their spring banks and their, you know. So, and then we discovered, hold on, West Coast, this is brilliant. So the thing, as far to my knowledge, there's a bit of everything in there. There's a bit of uh, Glengyle, a bit of Springbank, and a bit of Glen Scotia in there. As I say, down here it's £40. £40 is probably the RRP on it, and it is. It's. I think it's brilliant. I just think for what it is, if you like Springbank, Springbank Head, as most of you know, it just was right up there. It just fits right in with them all. Two Compass Box, Daniel Vermaas, not a fan. Personally, yeah, I mean, that Orchard House doing very well this year. Seems to be an awful lot of people raving about it. £42, good price. Peat Monster, £46, also a good price. Yes, it's good for, it's quite strong, quite spirit forward. Mm. Ooh. Oh, very tangy. There you are. There's a couple of casks in Glen Scotia in there, but it's the smallest component. Well, I sort of thought, Michael, that it was the smallest component. Taste it, you would know that there's not a lot of Glen Scotia in there. But it's good to know that at least I haven't just ignored them. Although it's a shame. It is a bit of a shame that there's not more, especially given that it's Campbelltown, it's not Springbank Lock. Mm, this reminds me of something. I'm going to have to think while I'm talking of what that reminds me of. Very good. Very good. I'm talking about. Mm. Anyway, Peak Monster, £46. Johnny Walker Green, Menno's favourite, £47. And at the end of the day, I said it there, honest, well, maybe I didn't say it. I honestly think if Campbelltown Lock, if the rest of them hadn't stepped up to the mark, put it like that, Johnny Walker Green would still be a great blended malt, in my opinion. The only way, Drew's saying the only way to keep the lock from being a good blend would it be too much Hazelburn in it for me? Really, Drew? I do like Hazelburn. Mm. I'm trying to think of what that reminds me of, and it's actually something. Oh man, that's just getting better. I'm talking Hazelburn. I'm wondering is it Hazelburn that's reminding me of Thompson S. Is that the SRV5? It is SRV5, isn't it? I've had a sample of that. That's all I've had, and I remember thinking it was very, very decent. Uh, and £35 from what I'm hearing about it. £35 must be, I will be looking into getting a bottle of that. And the Douglas Lang meat the beast, the wee beastie. Douglas Lang and I. This is the thing that meat the beast, £69. It's creeping up there. That's pushing the limit a wee bit. Then and also the thing is, Ben malts, some of them are incredible. I'm surprised actually there isn't more in there from Douglas Lang. But the thing is now that I'm starting to think the Compass Box over starts to sway, and maybe I'm wrong. I think part of the reason for that is that Compass Box gets more distribution in the United States. There's an awful lot of Compass Box that we would struggle to get here for us for the price that certainly that's there for in the United States. So Populous alone is just pushing the Compass Box ahead of Douglas Lang. In my head, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but it makes sense. Does it not? Mm-mm-mm. Did I say wee beastie dog? I meant Timorous beastie, of course. Apologies. Um, what a mess. crisp and 10-year-old. There you are. Drew wasn't see, Drew, I love that 10-year-old Hazelburn. That's just been a stalwart for me from day one. It's more gentle. It's the more gentle side, that triple distilled side of and like, as usual, each to their own, of course. Mm, this is very good. I don't know what this is. I'm going to add a little water. Where can I put it that I don't drown myself again? Just a little. Uh, so no, look, uh, I would that sort of summed it up for myself there. Johnny Walker Green, I still think is a good blend of do. Campbelltown Lock, Orchard Tree, Peat Monster. So, there's probably not another one in that category that I wouldn't put ahead of Johnny Walker Green, but it's still for me nice to see Johnny Walker in that and still there representing, especially a name like Johnny Walker. They've been around so long. They've done it all. They've seen it all. It's good to see that they've still got something out there that us, the whiskey drinkers, think enough of to nominate for an award such as this. Ooh, holy moly! The water just opened that up to make it incredibly. There's there's sherry on that as well. Mm. I think oh, it's gone chocolatey. It's gone chocolatey. What is that? I don't know what it is, but I like it. Right. This is the last category of the evening, and it's a good the best Scotch whiskey. Is this a Scotch whiskey? I'm convinced it is. Right. I'll do this. Mm, wow. I'll tell you what I think of this, and then I'll get on to that category, and then I'm going to just share something small with you. I know it's not what you're thinking. It's not something. There's something to do with it. As a matter of fact, I'll get to that very quickly. Um, uh, this is very good. Mhm. This is very good. It is Highland or Campbelltown, in my impression. It is 46 to no, it's over 50%, I think, but just over it. Is it a new distillery? I don't think so. I think it's something very natural and maybe something not that old, but quite distinct. It's oily. Yeah, 50% plus Highlander Campbelltown. And yeah, very natural. No, I haven't just no, I haven't. Let's see what it is. Oh, very small writing. That's actually Glendronach. 2003 Green Valley shop, single cask, 13-year-old PX, 56.5%. Nice. I have no idea who sent me this because I generally write names on them. This must be quite an old sample. Anybody recognizes this as their writing? or them having sent me it. It is the Glendronach 2003 Green Valley Stop, sorry, single cask, 13-year-old PX. Very nice. Apologies, Lee J. Yes, I did. I've done it again. That's So if anybody knows now, I've gone blurry. If anybody knows, I'll focus. I'll focus eventually. Don't worry about it. Um, just put it down. I'll end of the corner there again. So let's look at that. Let's take a look at this category, shall we? Get this on wrapped up. So the prices in this all sort of creep up a wee bit, but the one thing I did notice, there's a couple of things actually I noticed in this, and for one, not one of these went over the £100 mark, which, considering this is us, the whiskey heads or whatever you want to call us, fanatics, voting for our idea of the best Scotch. Now, in fairness, we have to remember that not everybody's a Scotch lover. Mhm, mhm. So it's just, sorry, just reverting to my phone there. It was going daft. Um, so an OC 18. I'm not going to do my best again, not to give anything away, but an OC 18, £94. Ardnamurchan and the cask strength, £65. Bunnahabhain, 12-year-old, £44. Scotia Victorian, £65. Kilkerran 16, £69, and Electric 18, £85. There are a couple of, in my opinion, absolute standouts in that category. And it's just because they're 18 years old and priced under £100. Pardon me. In the time, even 5 years ago, not going back that far, that wouldn't have been, you would have said, well, sure, those that's expensive. £94, £85 uh, for two 18-year-olds. But given the price of things nowadays, I just think that it just, I just think that's incredible. An OG 18 batch variation, yes, you're going to get it. But, but I love it. Love it. Let's get 18. Forgetting what I said in my review. I mean, I know when I have had this conversation before, because when I reviewed Let's Get 18, it didn't, I don't know where it was, whether it was me or whether it was where I was in the bottle or what it was, but it just didn't do it for me. And Let's Get 18. I carried on through that ball. Haven't finished it yet because I'm waiting uh, sometime. Well, I know exactly when in the new year it will be getting re-reviewed, so there'll be another bottle bought, and I will try maybe and compare the two bottles. Uh, but I just think £85 actually get it's class. It's class. And when I was saying glad I come to the senses. Yeah, it was a no brainer. I really just I must have been in the wrong place at the time, whatever, because when I went back to it, Christopher Blois saying something actually quite interesting. Craig Ellicky 13 should have made it into this category. I actually voted for Craig Ellicky 13 last year. I nominated Craig Ellicky 13 and it didn't make it into this. I still think Craig Ellicky 13 is an incredible whiskey. It didn't make it in last year, didn't make it in this year. It's a good example, a great example of worm tub dirty, in my opinion. And yeah, I would still agree with you, Chris, that I think it should certainly be represented. Art American. cask strength, £65, a good price, I think, for yes, a new distillery, but doing really well for themselves. And the fact that they've been nominated again, I think, well, they won it last year, didn't they, as new distillery? So, so it's good. Buna 12, I said earlier on, Buna sometimes does it for me, sometimes doesn't. I've said it before about Stale, actually. It's not just Buna having, and I'm talking about Lechic again. Uh, Stale, sometimes there's just whiskies in their range that just do it for me, and some don't. Deanston, once again, another prime example, and ones that seem to do really well, people love. I don't know, sometimes, and Buna 12 is a prime example. Sometimes just Buna have the feel of Buna having turns me a little. I've said this before. I find it a little. There's just something off-putting about the feel of their whiskey. It's not the way it tastes. It's just the feel. Maybe just me. Scotia Victoriana. Well, I think from what I'm seeing, from what I'm reading in the chat while it's going along there, uh, yeah, look, it's a classic already. And I've suggested this before, that is it a classic? Would it have continued to being a classic? Now, don't shoot me down here for dear sakes. I'm only thinking out loud. Would it have been the same classic had it not been for the success of Springbank and Kilkenny, etc. And I started to focus on Campbelltown again. It's certainly good enough. It's there's no doubt about that whatsoever. But I think Glen Scotia was being ignored a little by a lot of the whiskey community. And then just as that lack of availability for Springbank, Kilkerran, etc., people started they wanted to get more I was talking about earlier on in the Campbelltown, they want the Campbelltown stuff. So maybe Glen Scotia started looking at Glen Scotia, realised how bloody good it was, and look back. Just suggesting it. Probably wrong. Just suggesting it. Kilkerran 16 availability. There you go. I was just talking about it. And to be honest with you, I've said it. I've actually said it before. Kilkerran 16 doesn't do it for me. It's the one Kilkerran that has never really me stepped up. It doesn't matter. People said, "Oh, give it time, give it time, give it time." It's all right. I probably gave it a good review at the time, actually, but I've tasted an awful lot more whiskey since then, and when I think back, it's good. Don't get me wrong. It's still good. It's a bit like it's a bit like the Loch Lomond 14 I reviewed recently, where great whiskey, but for me, in the scheme of Loch Lomond, it's down below a lot of their other expressions for me, and that's just me personally. That's what I'm saying about Cocaine 16. Still a good whiskey, but just feels to reach that bar that a lot of the rest of their whiskies are doing. So, like digging a hole there, but trying to excuse my way out of it. And let you get team, I've already said there, £85, no brainer. Great stuff. Great stuff. So look, all good priced, all very well priced. It would actually be quite surprised if you knew what I had voted for there, but I'm not going to tell you. So I'm going to sort of leave. Uh, uh, that didn't work at all. I'm going to leave the OSWAs there. And my view, as I said, I think I said earlier on, it's an honour and a pleasure to be asked to be contributor again. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to pour myself a little dram of. what would be what I would like to have seen as the Scotch whisky of the year, and this would have been my choice. It's the warehouse one, Cargus. Now you can see there's actually still quite a bit in that, but this was love at first step. The warehouse one, this year's release of the Cargus. I'm going to put myself a wee dram in that, and I can sit if I can get this, and I'll have that afterward. But I just I love it, absolutely love it. It's chewy, it's sweet. It's, in my opinion, the best Lefroy I've ever had, easily. Hmm. Still working away here on these, on that Glendronach. Oh, that Glendronach's incredible. And weirdly, now that I've got a Glendronach 13-year-old PX against that, what was the one that against that Glenturret. Now I get starting to get that Dunnage thing again that I got of the 2021. It takes a sharper sherried whiskey against that one to soften it up. So yes, lovely stuff, lovely stuff. Right, I'm going to start wrap this up. There's run longer than I usually do anyway. I've started, I bored myself. So it's yes, this is the final week of the OSWAs. So this is why I wanted to do the final week of the OSWA voting. This is your final chance up until Friday. So I've dropped it in there again. If you haven't voted, you have no excuse. I'll probably try and do another live this month. If you please, do you have to, Jim? I'll maybe try and do another live this month because of I missed last month because I wasn't terribly well. I wish all the nominees good luck, etc. for the OSWAs. That's the moderator for next time. Let's give Molly says there was an awful lot going on in the chat there that I had, and I just absolutely lost track of what was going on. I'll probably, I was going to say I'll probably go back and read it again. Probably not. This is like it's one of these things I do. The way I do the videos, I do a one take and just go in. And, although I do feel now what Ben's saying, that it was basically a case of there was an awful lot being said that probably none of us understood. So, so look, if I get another one done this month, I'll see you then. If I don't, I'll get one done in November. I'll probably leave it until after the Glasgow Whisky Festival one. That's the one. And I'm going to see an awful lot of you there, hopefully. But if I don't, etc., etc., I'm planning on doing. And I'm going to just put this out there. I don't think I've already mentioned it. I may have. I don't think I have. Samples are just getting on top of me. I cannot get through the samples quick enough. I'm getting more than I'm putting through because I'm only doing once a month at best, and I'm only doing 3 samples once a month at best. I'm not saying stop sending me samples. I'm what I'm saying is that I'm thinking of trying something new along with along with what I'm doing. I'm thinking of trying either 1 minute malts or 60-second samples or something like that. There, shorts on YouTube. I think I'm doing shorts on YouTube, and I'm just putting it out there. So keep an eye out for it. That it would be a 1 minute malt. I would be going through. Could you imagine the amount of crap that I can fit into 1 hour and 14 minutes? Trying to fit that into 1 minute. Gaz Drams asking who's going to Roy's Blind Tasting the day after Glasgow Whisky Festival. Me, sir, and quite a few other people in here. the Highland Battalion fully represented. We will be there, and I can't wait. Really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. Whiskey works Graham says for them to me. You're not getting my samples, they're mine. And most of there's a good portion of them are from you, Graham. Yeah, there's a few people, a lot of thumbs up coming in from the guys that are going to Gav that are going to the Roy's blind tasting the day after the festival. 20 North Coast Drammers suggestions Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, month samples. I actually did think about doing uh, originally, Tony, I had planned on doing one a month for October, but it was just even that. I would rather do like some a 1 minute roll in my own time, and I can bang through them then, and even maybe try and do three, four, five in one setting, and then put them out. Well, I'll see. I'll see. Uh, Ben is not going to I know Ben's working, unfortunately, but I'm hoping Ben. I think we're going to meet you for food after the festival this, so we will see you then. So look, uh, oh no, Doc's not going to be there. Oh, damn it. Anyway, if you guys fancy chatting on elsewhere, that's all right. Thank you all very much for being in as usual. It's been a pleasure. I was looking forward to this tonight, and I enjoyed myself, even though I ramble, just rambled myself. You know that it baffles me how other people make this look so organized. Anyway, mm, I'll uh, I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. I thank you, as I said, once again for joining me. I will hopefully try and get another one for the end of this month. Another wee live stream or something. If I don't, you know, as I said, I'll see you in November. Thank you all for joining in. It's been an absolute pleasure as usual. Until the next time, look after yourselves, look after each other. Here's your good health. Cheers, folks.